Hello everybody, my name is Jeremy and this will be my very first video put on YouTube. And as you can see, for this video we will be playing Might and Magic 6, The Mandate of Heaven. And let's go ahead and get started and then I'll talk some more.
Having cheated death during the night of shooting stars, you find yourself as far from your village of Sweetwater as old Falagar's magic could take you. 3 years have passed while Falagar imparted what knowledge he could to train you in your chosen professions. But the time came at last when he could teach you no more, and you have ventured into the world to seek your fame and fortune. Now, a world away from your lost home, you have stumbled across evidence of a terrible conspiracy involving a new religious cult. 5 letters from King Roland to his wife Catherine, and a letter from the King of the Devils to a wicked traitor named Solman have turned up in an abandoned goblin camp. Your fate seems inextricably bound to these letters and that awful night, and your role in the events to come may be larger than anyone could imagine. The tools you have are but a small sum of gold, your wits, and a lot of potential. The roads ahead are infinite, and all the choices are yours to make. So choose wisely. Good luck.
Okay, so I'm back. Took a short break there. I have played this game several times, so I'm not gonna go crazy in depth with, how you play the entire game, but I'll describe a few things here and there. So, for those of you who've never played it, Might and Magic 6 is, well, the entire Might and Magic series is kind of a RPG, sort of D&D type thing. You have classes and skills and statistics, pick up items, do quests, kill enemies, all that fun stuff.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
So this is the character selection screen.
I'm ready. Choose me. How about me?
Which characters I want to pick?
Choose me.
Probably fine. Then here are the classes. For this playthrough, I'm gonna play the game fairly leisurely, so I'm gonna go with pretty standard setup, just to make things simple. If there's a lot of interest, I can replay the game later with more specific goals and that sort of thing. Just naming my characters here. These are all family members, although it probably doesn't really matter to you guys. And myself. Okay, so as far as, well, let's pick skills first. So a knight is pretty much a melee class, so they want, well, she starts with sword and leather. Leather, unfortunately, isn't very useful for a knight, but we'll make do. Neither is chain. I just never get chain in the first place, actually. Let's go with... I'm thinking bow and bodybuilding. So it's very important early on that you get all of your characters a ranged attack, which is the bow, and bodybuilding, just because bodybuilding gives them extra hit points every level, so that'll be useful for everybody to have eventually. And then the archer, let's give the archer perception and how about could do disarm trap, but I'm actually going to go with diplomacy. Then for the cleric, let's go with repair for sure. Is very important to have. And how about shield? Yeah. Then for the sorcerer, we can do... I like doing air magic and identify to start with, just to cut down on some of the initial costs, because if you can't identify items yourself, you have to pay one of the merchants to identify them for you, and that gets kind of expensive if you have to do it for everything. So that's decent enough for skills. Then for statistics, we have these little buttons that'll increase the statistics. We want the knight to be kind of tanky, so let's actually go 18 there and 18 there to start with. Archer, we want high accuracy and probably high might. So we can do 16 and 18 there. Clerics get their spell points off of personality, whereas sorcerers get theirs off of intellect. So we definitely want you to have probably very high intellect, and you to or personality, I'm sorry, and then you to have very high intellect. And then let's see, can bring your might up a little bit. At this point, I like to bring everybody up to 10s and everything. Well, except for in cases like this, the knight doesn't have spell points of any kind, so it's not important that they have... Actually, I could even lower these some. Although I will leave personality at 7, just because that also affects what NPCs in the world think of you, although... the archer does have intellect, which goes to her spell points, so I'm going to leave that up there. You don't need intellect. And you... Yeah. Okay, so let's bring everything else up to a 10, where it matters. It's so hard to click these sometimes. Okay, I've got 6 more points, and I think what I'm gonna do... See, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4... I'm gonna bring everybody's accuracy up a little bit, just to get them to hit a little bit more often, because that can be helpful as well. Like I said, I'm gonna play... This playthrough will be fairly leisurely, so I'm not going to stress a whole lot over character builds and that sort of thing. I've played this game a few times, so it's just for fun, really. By the end of the game, you end up pretty godly anyway, so... So is that everything that I want? I think it is. Oh, no. Instead of diplomacy, I actually want the archer to also have sword. It's kind of a preference thing, but I actually like ending up with both the knight and the archer dual-wielding swords later in the game. Just kind of a personal preference thing. So it's usually sword, mace, and then daggers. Yeah, and then all the other skills I can pick up a little bit later. Anyway, let's get started and see how horribly fast I get killed. Okay, so this is the world. Or actually, first off, I could not get Fraps to record the actual introduction to this game. You can see there it says welcome to New Circle. So hopefully, assuming I got it to work, you guys would have seen the introduction I made. If somebody knows how to get Fraps to record this game's introduction, I would appreciate that, and I can post it separately once that's figured out. Okay, anyway, first thing, they start with these horrible things, and we don't want those. So, we want to give them their basic gear. These are all pretty much the worst weapons there are. Well, pretty nearly. I mean, there's these things, which are marginally worse, but it doesn't get much worse than this.
Success.
This is brewing a potion. You can make, I believe there's 3 basic potions. There's a red one, blue one, and a yellow one. And then you can combine those to make other more effective potions. This is a spell book, which this particular one is static charge, which I can give to her. And now you can see she has static charge in addition to she started with Wizard Eye. I'm not going to focus much on magic with this character. I almost completely focus magic, or well, elemental magic I focus almost completely on the sorcerer, and then leave her as kind of a support mage if I really need it. There's another unenchanted ring. Do any of you have? Oh yeah, there we go. Items can have random enchants like this. This is just a ring, obviously, so. And a starter ring at that, so it's not, you know, anything super special, but actually, who has the lowest speed? Okay, 10, 14, 11, 11. Let's give it to you. So this will give her a +2 to her speed statistic. You can see there when I give it to her, it goes up. So we'll finish giving you your weapons, shield. This is the first aid book, which enables her to heal, which predictably is important.
This should work.
Clicking the wrong buttons. That's junk. And junk, and more junk. Flame arrow, and static charge, because he started with both fire and air magic, so he got 2.
Success.
Okay, I got 1 of each. Huh. I don't know if I've had that happen before. Okay, these are all junk rings. Well, I mean, I can enchant them much later in the game. I get a spell that allows me to enchant them, but, you know, not necessary right now. And you'll see later, I like doing this little, I don't know, random thing with the rings, like the junk rings that I don't need. I don't sell them, I kind of just fill this entire, I kind of collect them. Which, you know, a little weird, but, you know, whatever. This is the letter. Whoops. I will leave that on the screen for a minute. I'm not going to read that entire thing. You can pause the video if you really want to read it. Okay, and actually I need to go give that to, well, not give to, I need to show it to a guy in this building. But anyway, this is the town of New Sorpigal, as you can see there. This is the starting town where you start the game. Here we have the tavern, which you can sleep in and where you can get more of this food, because it takes, if you're resting, to actually, you can wait, but if you want to also heal while you're waiting, it takes a certain amount of food depending on what kind of terrain you're standing on. Like this is dirt terrain, so it's 2 food. I believe if I come over here and stand on this, it's, yeah, it's 1 food now. And then if I'm on sand, I think it jumps all the way up to 5 food or something like that. So I can come in here and there's a bunch of people here I can talk to. You can see I can rent a room to skip the night. I can fill my packs up, but I've already got more food than that. And I can have a drink, which costs a bit of money, so I'm not going to do that right now, maybe later. And if I've had a drink, I can tip the barkeep, which will... He gives me like a little random piece of rumor, I guess you would call it. This is somebody else, I guess just a sort of random person. And these are different conversation topics. Because they hear he's mistaking me for a member of his, the followers of Ba are kinda... I wouldn't say they're necessarily all evil, but the, I guess it's a religion. The religion as a whole is... They're working with the devils to overthrow the land. But we'll get into that later. This is the letter. And I showed him that letter, and he gave me some money and I don't know if he actually gives me experience. But he gave me a bunch of money, which, you know, is good. And that was a quest, basically the first quest you ever get. And here, he actually gives you another quest, where he wants me to go to one of the dungeons full of enemies here in New Sorpigal, and go and get him the candelabra, and bring it back to him, and he'll give me quest rewards. That's kind of a higher level place though, so I'm not going to do that quite yet. That's a little ways off yet. This is just another person, and she just seems to talk about random topics. A lot of these people that have random topics, you can talk to them and they will offer a little bit of insight into kind of what's going on in the land. So for example, this one you can see she's talking about the death of the king, and then she mentions there's some bandits, well, basically everywhere. But I believe the specific bandits that she's referring to are the ones that are in between New Sorpigal and Castle Ironfist, which is the second town, if you take the overland route in between towns. And here she's talking about fruit trees. You can harvest fruit trees. There's a little orchard of them outside of town that you can harvest. Each fruit tree you harvest gives you one more food. So it's one way to get food without going to this guy. And this is... I believe this is talking about a tavern, although I'm not sure... That's not this tavern, so I'm not sure which one that is. Okay, anyway. And then we have a bunch of other buildings here. This is the weapons shop. This is the armor shop, where they buy and sell things specific to them. Back here, this building is the kind of alchemist / magic shop, where you sell, you know, rings, that sort of stuff. Actually, I'm gonna go in here quick and sell these
for a weapon?
horrible, awful club things. They're basically worthless, but they do clog inventory, so I get rid of them right away. You can see he has, as with all the shops, he has different options for what you can do here. Some of this stuff is semi-decent, especially this, but not... Ooh, actually... those are tempting, actually. But no. Gotta stop myself.
Come again.
They're not worth the money for quite yet, because we don't really have any money, and there's a couple things I absolutely need to get. I can come back to those later. So that's those buildings. You can see on the mini-map, it's these buildings I was just talking about. These buildings, basically on the outside here, are just people's houses. Some of them have quests, actually, which I will go grab shortly. This is the coach company, and they will take you to neighboring areas. In this case, he will take me from New Sorpigal to Castle Ironfist, but we're not going there quite yet either. These are magical horseshoes. They will... they give you 2 extra skill points, which you can use to spend on skills. And how that works, I'm not actually going to use one right now because you kind of want to save those for later in the game. But if I want, say, to upgrade bodybuilding to level 2, I need 2 skill points. And then to upgrade it from 2 to 3, I need 3. And then 3 to 4, I need 4, and that sort of thing. You can see way over there, well, maybe you can't see. These are the apple trees that I can pick, but there's some enemies over there that I don't want to mess with right this second. Still going through a couple things. This is the...
Have a look around.
He just sells really basic... Well, I mean, you can see what he sells. He sells the really basic... I guess alchemy ingredients. I don't know if he ever actually sells anything else. This is the gold savings house place.
What can I do for you?
Can deposit money here, because if for whatever reason you're killed, like defeated in battle or whatever, you will respawn right over there. And there's one of these in pretty much every town. But you'll respawn right over there no matter where you're killed. And you lose any money that you have on you at the time. And you can actually see it says I have that much on me and then none in the bank. This is a fountain, and some of these fountains do useful things and some of them don't. Some of them do really bad things. This particular fountain, if I weren't at full, because I'm at full hit points, that is, it regens me for 5 hit points. This over here is the town hall.
I need your
and
help.
Actually, I want some quests from these people. This is just him referencing a dungeon, wherever it is. I think that dungeon is in Iron Fist, actually. But this is what I want. This is a quest to go rescue somebody from the Shadow Guild over in Castle Iron Fist. Which is kind of a later area. That's not something I'll do quite yet. I'm just kind of gathering quests at the moment. Just get the whole gathering thing out of the way. And can go back and actually do them as I gain levels and that sort of thing. But this here is the one I really want. This is the first dungeon that I'm actually going to go do after I'm done here in town and killing a couple people. But she gave me that key, and she wants me to go up to their abandoned fort and figure out what the code is. Oh, and every town hall also has this bounty every month that changes. I believe it's different for every town hall, and it changes every month. In this case, she wants me to go kill a cut purse, which is a monster, and then come back to this town hall, and she'll give me 300 gold as a reward. I might actually do that. Usually, because it's a random enemy anywhere in the land, or in the world, or whatever. And they're usually way above a level 1, but I could probably actually go do that. Cut purses spawn, I believe, just in the Island of Mist. Which is, unfortunately, I don't have a world map. This is my local map for just New Sorpigal, and then off this way is Iron Fist, and up this way is Mist, I believe, unless I'm crazy. Yeah, that's right. You're right. I might do that. We'll see. We'll see. And I believe I want a few other quests.
Hello.
Oh, and I definitely want this membership. These are memberships to the various skill teaching guilds, which will allow me to get the rest of the skills that I want. Because, I mean, I can't get every skill that I want just in that starter screen.
Thank you. You're too kind.
And that takes a bit of gold. But now I'm a member of that guild and I can buy those skills.
Hello.
And then here we have another gold.
Thank you. You're too kind.
And actually back to this guy.
Yeah.
Later on I believe from the Temple of Ba, I can get these cobra eggs and come back and sell them to him. And there's a couple people like that that I can
Can I help you find anything?
find cobra egg. Well, not necessarily cobra eggs, but various items and bring them to various people to sell. And this is all pretty much junk. Yeah, this is all pretty much junk. Although, yeah. Actually, wait a minute.
Can I help you find anything?
Yeah, meh. Yeah, that's all stuff that I'll get fairly easily pretty soon here.
How are ya?
Oh, and there's lots of people throughout the land that let you upgrade your skills. In this case, if I had the adequate skill level in bodybuilding, he would make me an expert in bodybuilding for a little bit of gold. You can see for this particular skill, I would need at least skill level 4 and 500 gold. But of course, I'm only skill level 1 at the moment, so can't do that. That's a later thing.
Hello.
I believe, yeah, there's the meditation guy.
How are ya?
Okay, and she has a quest, as well as a membership.
Thank you. You're too kind.
And I want this quest. This is actually also over in the Temple of Ba. The abandoned temple, actually. She wants me to go get her daughter. Who, I guess, wandered in there because she wasn't watching her kid well enough or something. This one I really want.
Thank you. You're too kind.
Because that's for all the elemental spells. I can now go there and get some of those. Then this is also a quest for the abandoned temple, because there's a whole bunch of quests for that place. And I'm supposed to go kill the spider queen over there, which will be really fun.
What are you looking at?
This is a place that I got a membership to, and it lets me... I can buy these skills to add them to my characters, kind of as a teacher thing. And the only one he teaches that I want, I think, is leather for him. The question is, do I want to buy that right this second or not? I don't think I do, because the first thing I want is the bow skill for everybody, so that everybody is ranged. And then over here we have some more houses. He's just an expert teacher, and then this is just a kid, so she just talks about, well, you know, sorts of things normal kids talk about, I guess. Although this is actually useful. She is referring to the eel-infested waters area, which is a horrible, horrible place. But that's a long, long ways off because those guys are really tough. Well, not really, really tough, but tough enough. And actually, I believe all 3 of these houses here are just expert teachers. Yeah. And by the way, this is a person's name, and they always have that under the expert. Like, clicking on this tells me, or not tells me, but yeah, this will teach me the skill. This tells me where I can go to master that skill. So I get the expert from this guy, and then he tells me where I can go to get the master. In this case, the master for spirit magic is behind Castle Iron Fist, actually. Okay, and this building here...
Closed.
Buildings have open times. This one's closed at the moment, but this is another building I got a membership to, which I also want some things from, but I can do that later.
How about some training?
Every town has this. This is the training grounds, where you actually advance a level, and every time you advance a level, you get more hit points, spell points, and a couple skill points for you to spend on your skills. And he tells you how much more experience I need because I haven't done anything yet, really. Because I've been talking this entire time and have done nothing. You can see... Actually, I should. This spell, Wizard Eye, allows me to see enemies and allies on the minimap, and you can see here. allies are green and enemies are red dots like these up here. And if I click on this, you can see that is how long Wizard Eye is in effect for. When I'm in range of an enemy, they are aware of me. My little thingy over here turns yellow, and when I'm out of range, it turns green again. And when an enemy is like right up next to me and in melee range of me, it turns red. Weirdly enough, some ranged enemies will still shoot me even if it's green. I'm not really sure what caused that, but anyway.
How are you today?
Let's finish going through the houses. That's an expert teacher. And I believe this is the fire expert. Yep, the fire expert. I do kind of want in here.
Closed.
What is that? Yeah, I'll come back to that later. Well, let's go up here and kill these guys, just because. So, well, and he shot me. Well, first, oh, bloody hell. Okay, anyway. Little hand over here means that I'm in turn-based mode now, where each person takes a turn and each enemy gets a turn. It's not continuous like I was just playing a minute ago. These are goblins. They are pretty much the first enemy you meet and arguably the very weakest. Every enemy has 3 types. In this case, the green goblin is the weakest of the goblins. Then there's a blue one, and then there's this horrible, horrible thing, which is the highest, well, most difficult of the goblins. And he is actually ranged, which means he can hit me, and I don't like that. So this is static charge, does, 2 to 6 points of damage, nothing super special, just a beginning spell, but I'm going to sit here and shoot him. And then you don't have anything that you're ranged with. You have a bow, and you have a bow, and you have nothing. You say they all got their turn there, now it's back to him. Speed affects how often your people get turns. And actually, since she's a little low, I'm going to go ahead and... This is first aid, and you can see every spell has different levels. She's normal skill at first aid, and then if she's an expert, it heals more, and then if it's master, it heals even more. The different spells have different effects like that. But I can use first aid on her to heal her back up to full. Although now, obviously, she has a few less spell points. I really hate these third-tier enemies because they tend to have a whole bunch of hit points that are just generally evil. It's quite common. Well, he would be kicking my ass right now if he were in melee range of me. I mean, even that range thing, you can see that does, almost, well, a fourth of her life, basically, in one hit. So that's nasty right there. And you can see I'm not really hitting him for hardly anything, although he will die eventually, one of these days. Now he's finally gone. I'm not gonna well, do I want to use spell points on these guys? I guess I might as well. I can do this, which he now has a quick spell, which is static charge, which means if I hit the S key, I can just automatically use it rather than have to go into his spellbook every time, and the same works for arrows. What the S key does is if your mouse is on an enemy, it shoots at them, otherwise it will just shoot at the nearest enemy, like so. Keep shooting at him, and he's dead now. And these guys are pretty simple threats, so I'll just finish taking them out. And he's out of spell points now. You can see that he skipped his.
Ha! Got him!
And they are all dead, finally, thank God. And I'm actually going to go ahead and run up here quick and get... these are enemy corpses. They drop Well, in this case, just a little bit of money. Nothing super spectacular, but a little bit of money's good too. Various enemies, you can see he dropped a lot more. Various enemies have chances to drop other things aside from money. Low-level enemies like goblins don't usually drop extra stuff. Sometimes just a herb or whatever. Just junk, usually. But much higher level enemies will sometimes, drop really awesome armor and that sort of stuff. This trap is not trapped, or this chest is not trapped from what I remember. Did I not give anybody disarm trap? Really? Well, shit. Well, it's good that this one isn't trapped. So there's a chest, you open it, there's a bunch of stuff in it. Lots of nice money. A lot more money than I got from the goblin.
Aha!
And you can see he has identify, so he identifies the stuff. It's just a junk mace. The level of identify increases the chance of successfully identifying. And you can see that he doesn't have a high enough level of identify to successfully identify that. So we'll get back to that. That's a helmet, and it gives some defense, and I don't have any helmets yet, so put that on. I already have that mace, obviously.
I don't know.
This sword is actually better than either of their swords.
I know
that from playing the game before.
I don't know.
But I'm not actually going to use it until I've identified it. I don't know, just out of habit, I guess. I don't like using things that I haven't identified yet, although I sometimes will if I suspect that it's something really awesome. Oh, wait a minute. Spell point fountain. I forget what this one does. Oh, I forgot about that. Okay, everybody gets that. And top you off. Speaking of fountain, wells, I think this one does nothing. I could have sworn this one increased your luck stat. Maybe not. Huh. Anyway, I have that sword, so I'm going to go over here to...
Looking for a weapon?
This guy. I'm going to click on Identify. Sometimes I won't bother doing this if I know it's a piece of junk.
But in
this case, I do know that it's something I probably want to use, at least for a little bit, so I will get it identified. As you can see, I'm going to give that to my knight. This does 3d3, which translates into 3 to 9 with no pluses. This does 2d4, which is 2 to 8, but then plus 5, so that's 7 to 13. So that's obviously better, and it has a plus to attack, so yeah. And then both of these are just junk. I do tend to organize my characters as far as some of them carry certain things, like she will eventually get the merchant skill, so I usually give this person all the things that I'm selling. She usually gets the potions as well as any scrolls and stuff that I'm carrying around. And then she gets all the kind of quest item-y type stuff. And then he gets all the rings. Because, yeah. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and sell
weapon?
both of these.
Come again.
Anyway. I need to go check the time quick, but if it is time to stop, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.